Monkeypox. Are you kidding me right now with this? I am so over all of this stuff. Like, you guys don't understand. I'm over it. I'm over COVID. I'm over all this. I made a whole other video, right? I go to export it on my phone. Everything gets deleted. So guess what? This video is going to be unedited. I don't care. I'm just going to go on a little rant. I am so tired of having to deal with stuff back to back to back, infectious diseases, war, all this crap. I'm over it, dude. I'm a millennial, and really, like, I just roll my eyes at this stuff now. And I'm just like, it is what it is. I might die. That's cool. But honestly, like, I can't, this whole thing is just so stupid. And everyone's freaking out. I mean, as they should be. It's a lot of the same talking points from COVID, like, oh, it's not a threat to the public, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it is. It can be. Like, any infectious diseases, dude, any infectious disease you have to take seriously. Like, come on, are they kidding? So, at this point, my health anxiety is kind of like here. It was here during COVID, and then it went down again, and now it's up here again. So it's just like the people with health anxiety are being hit the hardest, because we've already been like isolating, right? We've already been very antisocial, and now this whole thing's happening. And it's just like, when is it going to end, dude? It's not. It's never going to freaking end. And I don't know if it's Earth trying to get rid of like people, nature trying to get rid of people, which are, Earth's virus, really, if you think about it, or if it's like part of this big elaborate plan, which I don't think it is either. I really think it might be a combination of something. I don't know. I can't speak on it. I'm not an expert, but I'm just here to say that it's so old. It's getting so old. I can't. And the people who are shrugging it off, like they shrugged off COVID, honestly, they're probably going to be the first ones to get hurt from this, and the disease is following, because they don't care. And if you don't care, then you're going to get exposed to a lot of stuff. And I'm not trying to get exposed to nothing. I had something coming up where I need to travel, and I'm pretty freaked out. So I don't even know, what's going to happen, but I am continuing to wear a mask. I actually wore a mask before COVID during flu season. I always wore a mask, like on transit, everywhere. But now it's just like, oh my God, we can't get a break from anything. There's never a break. It's always one after the other. Like, there's never a break in between. And it's really, really to the point where I'm getting mad, and the whole thing about vaccinations for this stuff. Yes, smallpox vaccines work for monkeypox. Okay. But they stopped vaccinating for smallpox in the 80s because they said it was eradicated. Nothing's ever truly eradicated, dude. No virus is ever eradicated, because they always come back. Or they come back as different strains. It's never eradicated. It was not a good idea to stop vaccinating people for smallpox, dude. You needed to keep doing that, because that works against this, apparently. And now no one has access to it because they stopped the vaccinations in the 80s. So guess what? Now we're screwed again. But apparently they have like a stockpile of it. But, who knows when they're going to release it, if or when. You know what I mean? It's like they're keeping it on lock when people need it. So I don't know. It's just really something else. The kids being born today, I feel bad for y'all. Like, if you come across this video later in your life, I feel bad for you. Like, really, if I had a choice, if I had like a multiple choice quiz, if I was in the womb, hey, do you want to come out and live in the world, or do you want to stay out there in the universe abyss? I would select B because I would not want to be born at all. But anyway, you guys, I hope y'all are having a good weekend. I hope you're not freaking out about this stuff. Like, I know a lot of people who watch my channel also have anxiety. Calm down. It's fine right now. Nothing's like an imminent threat to you, but I understand. I know where you're coming from. I've had health anxiety mixed with generalized anxiety. And literally the feeling that it is like if you took a volcano from a kid's science project and you poured the vinegar in and it exploded, but then you put kerosene and propane on top of that. That's what it feels like. So I completely get, how a lot of people are feeling. And it just sickens me. It sickens me that there are still labs tinkering with viruses like this. It sickens me that there are labs with smallpox samples still. It sickens me. They need to be destroyed. These labs need to be shut down because they claim it's for the benefit of humanity. It's not for the benefit of humanity, because if it was, then there wouldn't be a risk of something bad happening or an outbreak happening. If it was for the benefit of humanity, then they wouldn't exist at all. Because the mere fact that they do exist has that threat of releasing something that can literally kill everybody. Are you kidding? No, shut these places down, take these places down. They need to be gone. There's no benefit. It's just an excuse they use. There's no freaking benefit. Somebody tell me in the comments what the benefit is of having labs that have multiple infectious pandemic diseases in them, or labs that have, just stuff that's so much worse than COVID. Like, what is the benefit? There's not. If they did want to research stuff, truly, there only needs to be one lab in the entire world to do that. Like, there does not need to be multiple labs with all this stuff. It's crazy. It's really just disgusting. But anyway, I don't know, you guys, were that, like, everyone's saying, oh, this is on purpose again, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it is. Like, this has been around for a long time. 2018, a tourist went to Africa, brought it back. 2019, a tourist went to Africa, brought it back. Stop going to these countries, tourists, stop going to these countries that have endemic diseases that are floating around. Stop. Why are you doing it? I'm a traveler. I don't knowingly go to countries that have pathogenic diseases openly floating around in their society. Why do you do it? Stop going there. Are you stupid? With the exception of people and Doctors Without Borders and stuff, who need to go to these places, don't go there. What's wrong with you? Like, there's a lot wrong with people. So I'm not even going to try to answer that, but like, it's just, I don't know. But the whole monkeypox thing it's crazy because, it's a relative of smallpox, and the fact that they stopped vaccinating for smallpox is the problem. And I am very much pro-science and I'm pro-vaccine. I'm not pro anything when politics gets involved. And that's what happened with the last pandemic. And we learned nothing from the last pandemic. And that is why the next ones are going to be worse. We learned nothing. Nobody learned anything. All people learned is how to be more selfish. All people learned is how to spout more BS about stuff that's not true. All people learned is how to divide into political parties over a health issue. That's not how it should be. I'm going to continue to listen to the scientists and everything on this stuff and ignore the politics, but it's just crazy because, like, as a millennial, we never get any breaks. We never had any breaks. Boomers, like, they were lucky. They didn't have to deal with stuff back to back. They pretty much had a smooth ride in the stock market with one exception their whole lives, Not millennials. We've been screwed financially. We've been screwed health-wise. We've been screwed a lot of ways. And, I'm just done with it. So I think for me, the way that my health anxiety has been and is going, I don't know. I haven't been in a restaurant, like, indoors in like over a year and a half. And I did go into one with my family like a few months ago, and I freaked out. Like, I had to be by a window. I was not going to be, in the place where other people were sitting, like where a ton of other people were. I can't, like, this has turned me into an agoraphobic. Like, is that the word? Agoraphobia is where you don't like crowds and going out to, yeah. I go out with friends and stuff, but I always tend to make sure it's outdoors, which is pretty sad because that's no way to live. But if you have health anxiety, you'll get it. And I think this whole thing, like all this, I don't know if it's just like the media, because COVID was such a revenue driver for them. I don't know if they just want to grab onto anything that's like potentially pandemic, like health-wise now, or I don't know what it is, but I don't know why it's like constantly some disease in the news now. Like, it's the hepatitis in kids, it was COVID, now it's monkeypox. What's the next thing? What's the next thing gonna be, guys? I know they know. What's the next thing? The newsrooms probably have everything lined up in a nice little row of these are the next diseases we're gonna report on. It's like, it's crazy to me how, because COVID was such a hot topic for them and they probably got tons of views from it, now they're just like globbing on to anything related to infectious diseases. So it's just wild, but I really hope that this, is nothing serious. Apparently, you're only infectious, from the time you start showing symptoms, which is completely different from COVID, which is good, but they still don't know. Like these viruses, they evolve, that's what viruses do. They evolve so they can stay in their host and still exist. You know what I mean? So it could have evolved to be respiratory. I don't know. But the fact that it's moving so fast is crazy. And I do blame travelers. I do, because this was around before this year. Like I said, 2018, 2019, travelers brought it back. And my theory is that stuff just doesn't blow up out of nowhere. Like it simmers, it's like a pot of boiling water. It simmers and all of a sudden it starts boiling to the surface like water. That's what it does, physics, whatever. It's like a forest fire too. You put embers in little areas all in the forest and it doesn't immediately blow up into a huge fire, but eventually it consumes the forest. I think that's what's happening here. All these freaking travelers who have seeded the countries by traveling to these places with this disease and then coming back and seeding the countries. And now finally it's starting to get traction, gain traction and, grow into a forest fire. So that's my theory. That's not 100%. I'm not saying it's right. That's my hypothesis, that this has been seeded for a while. And now it's finally gaining traction and getting a foothold in the population. So now that's why it's exploding. Just like a boiling pot of water, just like a forest fire. I always go back to those metaphors. And it makes sense. It makes sense because over the past few years, you've heard about this. The news wasn't blowing it up because it wasn't on a major scale, but now it's, a lot of people are getting it. I think that travel needs to be restricted to certain countries from the get-go. I don't think people should be allowed to travel where there's active endemic diseases happening. That's just me. I don't think you should be allowed to travel to certain places in Africa. I don't think you should be allowed to travel to certain places in Asia because of that. Because there are diseases that are endemic in those places. And if they get out, then it'll cause a problem. But nope, they want to just let people keep spreading disease like they do. That's what humans do. So it is what it is, but I hope you guys are having a good weekend. It's really cloudy here. It's nice though, because the temperature is good. I love clouds, let me tell you, because they lower the surface temperature. So I'm all for it, but I'm probably going to stay in today and do some video stuff because I am really, really being lazy about that. But sorry this video is so choppy and unedited and stuff. I'm so mad, you guys, because I did a great video on this in my car, and then I'm never doing videos on my phone again because you know why? When I tried to export it, it said clear your cache too full to save the file, whatever. I did, and it still wouldn't let me. So either way, I was never getting it off my phone. So sorry guys, you'll never be able to see that gem of a video. It's cool though. I'm making more. I don't edit my videos because it's too much work. And you know what? All that work for what? For what? People watch what they want to watch. And if you're into it, you'll watch the whole video, whether or not it's edited. All that BS people spout about, this is how to get YouTube watchers and blah, blah, blah. Nah, dude. You don't have to do anything. I've seen YouTube channels blow up that don't even have any editing. It's like me. It's worse than me. They do it on like old Android phones or something. But anyhow, I digress from that point because it's not related. Don't freak out about the monkeypox thing. If you have anxiety like me, don't freak out about it yet. It's fine. I would take everything with a grain of salt. A lot of the talking points that are happening about this right now really give me PTSD from when COVID started. Oh, it's not a threat to the general population. Oh, it's fine. They said that about COVID when it started. It's all the same talking points. And you know what? People are going to react the same way because it's all the same talking points that they did in COVID that initially divided people from the science on the subject. It's crazy. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or what, but follow the science. That's all I'm saying. Don't follow what all these other people are saying because they have no right to talk about it. The media has no right to talk about health and science. Politics Politicians have no right to talk about health and science. Don't listen. Only listen to the scientists who are working in this field and trying to figure this out. My tip from me to you. That'll just help with your anxiety as well. So I follow a couple scientists on Twitter. Actually, I don't have a Twitter, but you know, Twitter's public. You can scroll through it and see their posts. I follow a couple of scientists on there, and they help put my mind at ease a lot. One of them is actually a microbiologist slash something, I don't know. It's called Chise, Chise, and a couple others. But yeah, guys, just don't even pay attention to the news on this. My other video that I made, my other video about the news, this is what they do. This is how they get their rocks off and how they make their money. Don't listen to them. Turn it off, okay? Go for a bike ride outside, duh, and get some fresh air, and only listen to the people who have expertise in this field. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish my coffee and I'm gonna get some more work done, but I hope y'all are having a good weekend. And if you guys have any questions for me about anything anxiety related or anything that, you know, I've experienced that maybe you have questions about, if you're new to health anxiety because of all this stuff happening, my comments are always open. So feel free to leave one, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day, guys.